really hit me today. This is the first episode of the next 3, and so episode 4, and I am literally nauseous. I'm disgusted. I'm raging with anger that I'm really working hard to control right now, only because the perspective of it all is so lost. The ungratefulness of it all is so sickening to me. And I'm going to try to get through my notes and just talk to you about my experience with it all. But this is disgusting. It really is disgusting. And you know, people that support Meghan and think that what she is doing with her husband in this moment, think that it is okay. You need to learn more about culture. You need to learn more about people taking responsibility for their choices. You need to learn how to be appreciative and grateful for the things that you have, because anybody in their right mind that supports this couple and the way they come across as whiny brats of privilege, something is wrong with you, because you have no perspective or guidance on what really matters in life. What I want to say is I'm glad the royals don't acknowledge this. I'm glad the royal stance is, look, we have work to do. We're doing the work that we do. We're going to continue being who we are, because to engage in a rebuttal to what these wackadoos have said only validates them in their nonsense. And how can you reason with anybody that supports this? How can you even reason with Harry and Meghan at this point? You can't. They're lost in their stupidness. They're lost in their ignorance and their perspective on life. It will come back later once the euphoria of it all dies down, because right now they're in a moment of euphoria, especially Harry. You know, this is a new life for him in America. But when it becomes old, when the cameras have died down, when you're seeing that woman every day, and you start to realize, what's wrong with you? You've never been like this. Oh, yes, she has. You just never saw it. But once that wears down, the excitement of it all and the normalities kick in, and you are no longer the highlight, you no longer have the press feeding into this frenzy of information that you brought out, that's when it's going to hit you what you have actually done. And you'll be sorry, because by then you would have spent the money. You would have, bought the things that you've wanted to use with the money, whatever you do with that money that you have. And then you'll see it wasn't worth it. Doing this whole Netflix wasn't worth it. That day is coming. Guaranteed. But until it comes, we got to deal with these wackadoos and their euphoria and their nonsense of telling their story as if people should want to hear what you have to say and all of your privilege, but I'll get to it. So I'm glad that the royals are not acknowledging this, because they are doing the meaningful work right now. Harry and Meghan are doing right now is not important. It's their whining about the press, Meghan feeling suicidal. When you think about the whole scheme of the world and everything that is going on in the world right now, especially over in Europe, food crisis and the energy crisis with having enough, money to pay your bills and to pay your heating because of the war in Ukraine, and like the real problems that people are really having right now, that is what is important. But yet people should still feel sorry for you in your luxury about your suicidal thoughts and your depression. And this is the thing that you need to definitely think about the whole time that you're watching this. There needs to be a picture of Meghan and her family before she became this royal. Look at how she has treated her own family, and then listen to what she is saying about how the royals are treating her and the contradiction of it all. And it's almost like you have the audacity and the nerve to talk about what the royals supposedly are doing to you in the press, and how you're feeling and how you want to feel like a human. Excuse me, what about your father? Look at how you have treated the man that has loved and given you everything. These royals hardly know you from Adam. And they have welcomed you, and you're complaining about the little bit of time that they've got to know you. Well, if anyone has anything to complain about in this moment, Meghan Markle, it's your father, who has sacrificed years and given so much to help you. But you don't even acknowledge him and how he's feeling as a human, because she makes a reference to not feeling like a human. But hello, look at how you have treated your own father. Like dirt on a shoe, not like a human. Ugh. I'm thinking the whole time, you spoiled brats, you ungrateful people talking about your world being small and you can't do anything, that you're like in this little bubble. You know what I have to say to that? You knew what you were getting into. You chose this life. You hunted this man. You hunted him. That's another story. But the reality is you went out of your way to find and to connect with this prince. The facts are out there. I'm not talking about that in this video, but that's what she has done. So for you to now be inside this bubble that you crave to be a part of and to boo-hoo whine your way to millions of dollars in a documentary reality show is a slap in the face. And I'm going to be giving some smackdowns in this video. So you're forewarned, because I'm just disgusted with this woman and her audacity and nerve to discuss how people treated her, while in real time, the man that loved her unconditionally has been treated like he no longer exists, because she talks about how she no longer has her father. That is the biggest lie of all time. Yes, you do have your father. He's waiting to hear from you. But you have not called, because why? Because you're selfish, you're egotistical, you're a narcissist, you're entitled, and you are the biggest spoiled, manipulative brat I have ever to know, that's out in public, like full blown out in public, looking at this woman in media, talking the way she talks, understanding what she has actually done to her own dad. And the thing is that there are people who no longer have their parents. Like their parents are gone in the grave. And you sit here and you say that you no longer have your father, when your father is barely hanging on to the life that he has. And you dismiss him as if you no longer have a father. But he is there. The entitlement of it all, that you could even go still see your father if it really meant something to you. There are people who don't have that luxury. You spoiled, stupid woman. And then then in the beginning, as episode 4 started, there was all this, how big the wedding was and how it's just overwhelming, all the people. We're just going to the chapel. It's all these people. It's only a 15-minute drive. And oh my goodness, all these people. Girl, you loved it. You ate it up. You wanted it. And to try to act like it was so over the top for you is trying to make us think we stupid. Look, you knew you wanted something like that, because if you didn't want something like that, if it was too much and over the top for you, why are you wearing a bright white dress knowing that you've been married before, which you still have yet to acknowledge in this reality show? You don't acknowledge your ex-husband like you've been married before, woman. You've had many of men before. But, the hypocrisy of her wanting to come down this aisle in this bright white dress and a veil, as if she is this pure woman who has, come into her first marriage, is so hypocritical to me. I mean, have a wedding, great, and act as if this is your first time getting married. And this is how she wanted this. She wanted all the people. And if the people weren't there, they're racist. No one showed up to our wedding. Where are the British people? Hardly anybody showed up. As they showed up for Kate and Williams, where are they at? Where are the British people? Oh, they must hate me because I'm a black woman. That would have been the other narrative had they not shown up. But because there was so much overwhelmingly, enthusiastic people who supported this union, and to make it seem as if, oh, it's too much. What's going on? Oh, you're using a sword to cut the cake. It's over the top. It is just unbelievably disgusting to me how you try to manipulate people through your nonsense with your discoveries of things, knowing full well it was part of the plan. You plotting and planning, like, okay, but yet in front of the cameras we have to feel as if this is, oh, it's so unexpected. Talking about, we're at the end of the day, Harry, H and I are able to find ourselves in the chaos. Like we can drown it all out. We can find ourselves. Yes, we can find ourselves together. There's so much noise going on and I'm not really feeling it. I don't like it all, but we're together. It's just us. Let's tune it out. Let's put in the earplugs. Like while still looking for the camera when she's with them, taking pictures of them while they're kissing. Oh yeah, I'm sure you try to tune everything out while trying to document it at the same time. The contradiction of this woman is a puke fest. And then we look at all the people that are speaking on their behalf, the professional people that they label as friend. But the reality is they're not just friend. They are professional people that Meghan has actually hired. But they label them as friends in this mockumentary. Notice that no real childhood friends are in this that are talking about the things that she's saying are a problem, because the people that know her, that are the real friends, know that this woman is a fraud and she is full of nonsense, and they're not going to be speaking as a friend in this ridiculous show. But the people that are getting a paycheck, those people that they label as friends here, they're getting a paycheck. So no wonder they're going to say all of these things and try to manipulate the audience as if they're real friends. No, they ain't. They're hired people. Looking at the gospel choir and, Serena saying that, she had the culture represented at this wedding, her culture. But that's not her culture. She has never grown up in the Black church. She has never been a part of that culture of Black Christianity gospel. And they said that it was Charles's idea because perhaps Charles thought, oh, okay, your mama, she's Black. Let's look at the American Black gospel choir or the gospel of Christianity within the Black culture, looking at Meghan's mother and making that suggestion. But that is not Meghan's culture. And I found it hypocritical for Serena to say that, because Serena knows better. Anybody should know better looking at Meghan, looking like a white woman, and we're supposed to think, oh yeah, you Black, you've grown up in Black culture doing things that are traditionally, within the Black culture. No, you didn't. And if you did, if you really did, why yet again, I'm saying it again, I know. Where's the Black family? Where is the Black family that she talked about being so upstanding and dignified? If you didn't watch my video where I talked about episode 3, please watch that video, because I do lay out some really important information that contradicts everything that she's saying around her Black side of her family, and Doria being the one to not say anything, but yet she criticizes her father's side of the family. Well, I give a real justified reason why it is the way it is, but also bring out her fault, and you still didn't even invite the Black family, even though they remained silent in dignity. You're like, shut up with your contradictions. And all the while, watching this, I'm thinking, this could have been such a great story. It could have been so wonderful to see someone like a Meghan come into this institution, with the differences that she herself could have explored as a woman of color more, because this is how people are seeing you. Well, then you could have explored it more, Meghan Markle. but you use it to perpetrate something and to make money and to create a narrative that really is not your narrative. And that is very infuriating to people like myself who have the culture that we have been a part of, but then you come in and hijack it like this is your culture, and it's not. But that is what could have been had you authentically come into this relationship and really looked at it for what it was and made this union work. But she didn't, because she had an agenda from the very beginning. Before she walked down the aisle, she had an agenda. And now we got to hear this boohoo fest. Okay. But and my whole thing is that Meghan, she really has ruined it. She's ruined what could have been. She's ruined a great opportunity, because she's not a woman to bring in peace and get along for the sake of getting along because you're on a world stage, but to complain about how you were overshadowing the other royals and that was a problem. And when we see this whole thing where she starts talking about her grandmother, Harry's grandmother, and trying to liken it to just a regular old grandmother, but not really recognizing that she's the queen, and that there's a difference between the queen and being the grandmother. And she tried to make a comparison about taking care of her own grandmother. No, she didn't. Talk to the Markles. No, she didn't. And they show this picture of her with her white grandmother, and to make us think that she's got this loving relationship. Well, you don't even speak to that woman's son. You didn't even invite that woman's children to your wedding. So to perpetrate a picture of you with your white grandma and to say that, you took care of your grandmother and that family is important to you. No, it's not. Because if it was, you try to make peace with this white grandmother that you took a picture with and probably just left the same day. You try to make peace and show harmony with the grandmother's children. But, she's such a fraud, and it is going to come crashing down. It's so thick. It's so thick with just so much nonsense. I'm having a hard time with it. The first 3 episodes, okay, I got through it okay, but like this one, like the start of this nonsense right here has really tipped me over the edge, folks. Coming together to help these women with a cookbook. It's all for publicity. If the cameras weren't there, if people weren't going to highlight it, she would not be there. So to try to show that she's about solidarity and helping these people within this community that have been affected by this fire, it's like, you use it, because if you were really a person that cared about people and wanted to help people, you would have done that for your own family. So how can you even make us think that you are authentic trying to support people that you don't even know? You don't know these people from Adam. Oh, but you see a great PR moment, don't you? And then they talk about how she was starting to overshadow the other royals. And this is what I would say to that. If that were the case, let's say you were overshadowing the other royals. I think it was just the excitement of you newly being into the royal family. But if that were the case, why not say, okay, I need to take a step back because I don't want to overshadow something that I have married into because I don't deserve it. Rightfully knowing you don't deserve it. Why complain about the press making you a big story and say that is not your fault? Your whole stance should have been, I'm going to do my best not to overshadow something that I know I do not rightfully have the right to overshadow, because you're newly into a family that has their goals and their agenda to obtain. And you're getting in the way of that. So you should be all the more so trying to not allow their agenda to be overshadowed. And then she mentions how a lady said to her in the walkabout, what you're doing to your father is terrible. And then Meghan goes, oh my goodness, I can't believe they believe these tabloids. Oh, you're not doing anything to your father. You're just going to sit there and make people believe that what they're believing about what you did to your father is a lie. No, it's not a lie. I spoke to your father. I spoke to your family. It's not a lie. What you are doing is terrible to your family. And if people want to say that to her and she wants to deny it as a lie, then that's just her with her head in the sand. What she has done most of her life in royalty, she's put her head in the sand to the realities of who she really is. But the problem is you take people who have absolutely nothing. There's poverty here in America. There's poverty all over the world. There are people who have to deal with really difficult, challenging circumstances. And I think the biggest problem is that Harry and Meghan are putting their problems of woe is me in this documentary, while at the same time being able to tell this story of woe is me while making millions of dollars. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the couple that thinks people really need to feel sympathetic to you, and all your privilege are also feeling like something has been wrong. You've been wronged in some kind of way. Like, why should people care that you've been wronged? Be in your suicidal thoughts and your feelings and your depression in private. It's a slap in the face that people that have real problems in the world, and they have nothing. No one's paying them $1 million to hear their stories of woe is me. No one's paying them for anything. They are in their problems for real, for real. But you are in such a fake situation of woe is me that it is a slap in the face to people, and for anybody to look at this couple and to think, oh, that's terrible what the royals did to them. Shame on those royals and how they treated them. Shut up with your problems. Shut up with your being upset in how people treated you. So what? Get on with it and stop trying to make money out of people treating you poorly while you live in your luxury. When you have access to so much, and you know it could be so much more worse than what you have, you need to shut your mouth. You need to shut it up, and you need to be grateful. You need to be grateful for the things that you have. And you don't need to have people look at you and try to feel sorry for you, because that is the most egotistical, woe is me and my problems and my luxury, that I want you to feel sorry and to really like me and to understand that I lost my father. Like, no, you did not. I am so disgusted with this couple, and I'm disgusted with anybody that supports this hypocrisy. Because you don't have a grasp on what real problems are. You don't have a grasp of what really matters in this world. And that are people who are suffering in real time with nothing. Zilch. If you're not having a good day, you can go get a massage. Pay $100 for a massage. If you're feeling depressed, hey, go get your hair done. Go do many things, Go just do things to help make you feel better. Hey, whatever. Just jump on a private jet and go to a baby shower, with your celebrity friends. Like, you have that kind of access in your problems. This is why anybody, even celebrities that think you've got problems, they need to look at you differently and understand what real problems of the world are, because this is sickening, it's disgusting, and I am appalled that anybody would give you the time of day to think you have real problems, because no, you don't. You have fantasies. These are fantasy problems. And if you do have your real problems, like you say, then go do it in private. Don't put it on the world stage for people to think that they got to look at you and now have some sympathy towards you with all your luxury. You don't have a grasp of the world. And this is how I know when she goes to visit people like at that Greenfield, people that suffered from that fire, or when she goes to try to help people, she's not there to help you. She's there to get pictures to show compassion of herself helping you. Because she wants people to feel sorry for her. She wants people to feel like you do care about people. You care about nothing but yourself. And you are not a kind, compassionate person, because if you were, you would not be displaying it in your privilege on a world stage while getting paid millions of dollars to tell your story. It is so infuriating for me and disgusting. I just hope the royals never ever let them back into royal life. I hope they are exiled. I hope they are cut off. I hope that they never have a chance to come back into the fold until they really understand what they have done. Just the mere idea that they are even displaying this hypocrisy on Netflix with getting so much money is so wrong. Talk about, when she gave birth to the child and how she didn't want to have to serve her child up on a silver platter. Well, you sure are doing it for Netflix, aren't you? You sure are putting your children up on a platter to be sold for Netflix. Because these are pictures I've never seen before. Oh, but you're going to show them when you're getting paid some millions of dollars from Netflix, huh? It's just like you complain about stuff and then you go back and you do it your way rather than doing it the way the royals did it. This is nothing but her complaining about wanting to do things her way and not the royals' way, while at the same time trying to make the royals seem like they're bad people, and I'm just at this point. I don't think I've ever been this upset with Harry and Meghan. With everything that I have said and talked about with this couple over the last few years, I think this for me is the most infuriating for me, because you kind of throw it in our face like, look at the royals and how they treated me, and having someone do your nails and having someone give you food, gourmet food while you're eating. Yes, those royals, they made me go. They wanted me to go prod my child out on the hospital steps. And I'm like, that is my child. That is my child. You're not going to use my child. I'm going to use my child, essentially. And then Doria talks about how it's almost as if they own the child because of how Meghan was so upset with the royals dictating what she had to do when she gave birth. Well, even I know this. When you marry into royalty, your child is not your child. That child is a custodian of the queen, of the monarch. It's not your child. That's exactly right. So Doria, in all of your stupidness, saying that it's not her child, it's their child. Well, hey, yeah, that's what your daughter signed on the dotted line when she married the man. That's the truth. It's not her child. You chose it. That's what she wanted. And you're sitting there too, Doria, and your millions of dollars, and your hypocrisy, trying to make people think you're the logical one and everything. No, you ain't. You just as bad. If anything, you are the proponent of how all of this is fueled more, because you're feeding your daughter, in my opinion, the things that she is doing around all this controversy. Like it's disgusting. As we see in real time, the letter that Thomas wrote in the beginning, Thomas Jr. wrote about what Meghan would do to the royal family, it has all come true. So you tell me who is telling the truth right now. Is it Thomas Markle and his children, or is it Meghan Markle and her husband, Harry, the prince? Who's telling the truth? It certainly is not Meghan and Harry. And and I like how the nanny had asked the question, how could you smile with all of this going on? And I'm thinking, how she can smile while all of this is going on? Because she knows she's got access to go disappear in her wealth of opportunity. Maybe money can't solve problems, but it sure can make it a lot easier to deal with. And you've got the money to deal with it. So you know what I say? Deal with it.